As the country marks 3rd June, the day when Uganda martyrs lost their lives on matters of faith, the country has been tasked to reflect on the amount of faith of believers back then that was grounded. Indeed, Christians who walk miles to Namugongo in prayer believe that what the martyrs did, holding onto their faith, is recommendable. The International Center for Religious Advocacy and Development, a non-profit organization that unites different religious denominations, continue to quest for religious liberty, just like the martyrs who were seeking to be allowed to worship freely.
The evidence is in the discontent of the Ugandans against this policy. In only 2 months, we have been able to traverse over 20 districts across all the regions of this country to run a public petition that has now gathered over 10,000 signatures of church leaders. Why is this important? The Ministry of Ethics and Integrity, when you read the foreword of their policy, they only say they have only managed in the space of over 5 years to hold only 50 consultative meetings, not having more than 30 people. The policy intends to determine how worshippers should give and how far they can go in their giving, thereby infringing on the freedom of worship. In that whole policy, there is only one line which speaks about in a very subtle way concerning giving, where they talk about the local government adjusting their medium-term expenditure plans. And because of that, they are trying to organize the faith to be a taxable base.
Their concern is about the drafted religious policy, which they believe will affect the freedom of worship.
This is an old bill which was killed many years ago, and it's trying to manufacture a resurrection, and I think this resurrection won't work because I think it has met a formidable force and has found us even wiser than when it first came.
Without government having to regulate us, we excel beyond our government in providing health services and education services that are fundamental to the well-being of society. If we have been able to build such a legacy.
As the International Center for Religious Advocacy and Development, we would like to remind all religious faithful and clergy that the martyrs we celebrate in this season gave their lives for things such as this.
They claim that the country has enough regulations, both in the Constitution and the Penal Code, that address aspects of wrongdoing.
Of Uganda, as citizens, we have a duty to engage in civic participation. But also, number 2, we have the freedom to express our disgruntlement through public petitions.
Government embarked on drafting the National Religious and Faith Organization policy, steered by the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. The Directorate says that there was a lot of manipulation by some sects and religious organizations who took believers for granted to a level of extorting.